He will run like a jackal when he hears my name. Men of his gang are with him. So are many others, all armed with guns and pistols. You had better behave sensibly if you hold your life dear. Jagga nodded his head. Right, Inspector Sahab. We will meet again. Then ask me about Mali. His temper got the better of him. If I do not spit in his bottom, my name is not Jagat Singh. He rubbed his mouth with the back of his hand. If I do not spit in Mali's mouth, my name is not Jagat Singh. This time Jagat Singh spat on his own hand and rubbed it on his thigh. His temper rose to fever heat. If it had not been for your policemen in their uniforms, I would like to meet the father of a son who could dare to bat an eyelid before Jagga Singh. He added, throwing out his chest. All right, Sardar Jagat Singh. We agree you are a big, brave man. At least you think so, smiled the sub-inspector. You had better get home before dark. Take the Babu Sahib with you. Babu Sahib, you need have no fear. You have the district's bravest man to look after you. Before Jagat Singh could reply to the sub-inspector's sarcasm, a constable came in to announce that he had got a tonga. Sat Sri Akal, Inspector Sahab. When Mali comes crying to lodge a report against me, then you will believe that Jagat Singh is not a man of hollow words. Sub-inspector laughed. Sat Sri Akal, Jagat Singh. Sat Sri Akal, Iqbal Singh ji. Iqbal walked away without turning back. The tonga left Chandan Nagar in the afternoon. It was a long, uneventful journey. This time Jagga sat in the front seat with the policeman and the driver, leaving the rear all to Iqbal. No one was in a mood to talk. Bhola, the driver, had been pressed into service by the police at a time when it was not safe to step out of the house. He took it out on his skinny brown horse, whipping and swearing continuously. The others were absorbed in their own thoughts. The countryside also was still. There were no men or women in the fields, not even cattle grazing. The two villages they passed seemed deserted except for the dogs. Once or twice they caught a fleeting glimpse of someone stepping behind a wall or peering around a corner, and that someone carried a gun or a spear. Iqbal realized that it was the company of Jagga and the constable, who were known Sikhs, that really saved him from being stopped and questioned. He wished he could get out of this place where he had to prove his Sikhism to save his life. He would pick up his things from Manu Majra and catch the first train. Perhaps there were no trains, and if there were, could he risk getting onto one? He cursed his luck for having a name like Iqbal, and then for being a... Where on earth except in India would a man's life depend on whether or not his foreskin had been removed? It would be laughable if it were not tragic. He would have to stay in Manu Majra for several days and stay close to Meet Singh for protection. Meet Singh, with his unkempt appearance and 2 trips a day to the fields to defecate. The thought was revolting. If only he could get out to Delhi and to civilization. He would report on his arrest. The party paper would front page the news with his photograph. Anglo-American capitalist conspiracy to create chaos. Comrade Iqbal imprisoned on border. It would all go to make him a hero. Jagga's immediate concern was the fate of Noora. He did not look at his companions in the tonga or at the village. He had forgotten about Mali. At the back of his mind persisted a feeling that Noora would be in Manu Majra. No one could have wanted Imam Baksh to go. Even if he had left with the other Muslims, Noora would be hiding somewhere in the fields or would have come to his mother. He hoped his mother had not turned her away. If she had, he would let her have it. He would walk out and never come back. She would spend the rest of her days regretting having done. Jagga was lost in his thoughts, concerned and angry when the tonga slowed down to pass through the lane to the Sikh temple. He jumped off the moving vehicle and disappeared into the darkness without a word of farewell. Iqbal stepped off the tonga and stretched his limbs. The driver and the constable had a whispered consultation. Can I be of any more service to you, Babu Sahib? Asked the policeman. No, thank you. I am all right. It is very kind of you. Iqbal did not like the prospect of going into the Gurudwara alone, but he could not bring himself to ask the others to come with him. Babuji, we have a long way to go, and you know the times. Yes, you can go back. Thank you. Sat Sri Akal. Sat Sri Akal. The courtyard of the Gurudwara was spotted with rings of light cast by hurricane lamps and fires on improvised hearths over which women were cooking an evening meal. Inside the main hall was a circle of people around Meet Singh, who was reciting the evening prayer. The room in which Iqbal had left his things was locked. Iqbal took off his shoes, covered his head with a handkerchief, and joined the gathering. Some people shifted to make room for him. Iqbal noticed people looking at him and whispering to each other. Most of them were old men dressed like town folk. It was quite obvious that they were refugees. When the prayer was over, Meet Singh wrapped the massive volume in velvet and laid it to rest. He spoke to Iqbal before anyone else could start asking questions. Sat Sri Akal, Sat Sri Akal, Iqbal Singh ji, I am glad you are back. You must be hungry. Iqbal realized that Meet Singh had deliberately mentioned his surname. He could feel the tension relax. Some of the men turned around and said, Sat Sri Akal. Sat Sri Akal, answered Iqbal. Sardar Iqbal Singh, said Meet Singh, introducing him to others, is a social worker. He has been in England for many years. A host of admiring eyes were turned on Iqbal. The England returned. Sat Sri Akals were repeated. Iqbal felt embarrassed. You are sick? Iqbal Singh ji, inquired one of the men. Yes. A fortnight earlier he would have replied, No, or I have no religion, or religion is irrelevant. The situation was different now. And in any case, it was true that he was born a Sikh. Was it in England that you cut your hair? No. I never grew my hair long. I am just a Sikh without long hair and beard. Your parents must have been unorthodox. The statement allayed suspicion, but left Iqbal with an uneasy conscience. Meet Singh fumbled with the cord of his shorts and pulled up a bunch of keys dangling at the end. I kept your things locked in the room. You can take them. I will get you some food. No, Bhaiji, do not bother. I have enough with me. Tell me what has happened in the village since I left. Who are all these people? Bhaiji, what has been happening? Iqbal asked again. What has been happening? Ask me what has not been happening. Trainloads of dead people came to Manu Majra. We burned one lot and buried another. The river was flooded with corpses. Muslims were evacuated, and in their place, refugees have come from Pakistan. What more do you want to know? What have you in that silver bottle? Oh, this medicine, faltered Iqbal. It gives me an appetite for food. And then you take pills to digest it. Iqbal laughed. Yes, and more to make the bowels work. Tell me, was there any killing in the village? No, said the bhai casually. He was more interested in watching Iqbal inflating the air mattress. But there will be. Is it nice sleeping on this? Does everyone in England sleep on these? What do you mean there will be killing? Asked Iqbal. All Muslims have left, haven't they? Yes, but they are going to attack the train near the bridge tonight. It is taking Muslims of Chandan Nagar and Manu Majra to Pakistan. Who are they? Not the villagers. I do not know all of them. Some people in uniforms came in military cars. They had pistols and guns. The refugees have joined them, and so have Mali Badmash and his gang, and some villagers.